Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well on this Monday, April 22, 2024, 3:03 p.m. It's a sunny day here. It was actually in the 30s overnight with frost on the ground when I woke up this morning. Anyway, I received a response to the testimony I posted yesterday, SDL's testimony, and I have permission to read out loud this targeted female's response to his apartment story. She said, something similar happened to me. I lived in 3 different houses that I obtained either by purchase or rent, and in which odd paranormal events happened. From shadow people crossing through the house to objects being flung across the room and windows crashing out of the blue. From blood smeared on walls to scratches on walls appearing out of nowhere, to loud sounds like sirens from the attic that no one could explain, but everyone in the house heard. I also had that strange visit from the city to, quote unquote, check fire alarms. They kept shoving something into the outlets, and spent a very long time in my basement looking at the fire alarm. It was right above the door. They couldn't miss it. When I asked them where to place the carbon monoxide alarms, they didn't know the answer. Well, that's really strange, right? They seem like frauds. They're there for a different reason than what they were telling you. Both men wore black uniforms with no firefighter badge. You know, the fire department usually wears a blue uniform, not black. And usually firefighters have some kind of an emblem on their uniform. And police officers as well, they wear a badge. They've got a name tag. They've got some kind of an emblem. Most city workers have an emblem on their uniform. So the same day, 3 mice were in her house and has not had them since then. I also had a huge healthy pine tree fall on my bedroom window. There was no storm. The tree was not diseased. It almost crushed me in my sleep. I had a neighbor's Tesla self-drive itself into reverse toward my bedroom wall and almost crushed me to death in my sleep. These were all beautiful homes that oddly had repeated quick turnovers. I also experienced neighbors have extensive basement work done while I lived next door to them, and they all moved out once I moved. They were all military. My neighbors were all very oddly part of, quote, neighborhood watch groups, unquote. They told me that when I moved in. This was long before anyone became aware of gang stalking. I mean, this is absolutely horrendous, right? These are not normal behaviors. This is not normal activity. So she also mentioned in a response, I asked her if I could utilize this response. She said she would be honored. She said, so the term Dyson sphere, quote unquote, is coming up more and more. It looks like they are somehow locking us into our own simulated bubble to energy extraction. They call themselves a, quote unquote, space-faring civilization, and they piggyback on our energy. There is no way I see the same dumb stuff over and over daily. It also feels like a fake reality now. Well, thank you so much for that information. I'm sure other people feel the same way. And what they do is they isolate the victim. Narcissists isolate the victim. And in our cases, as a targeted person, the targeted person is the victim. And the people that are, I hate to use the word controllers, but the gang stalkers, the community-based agents, they are pathological, narcissist, sociopaths, psychopaths, many with addictive behaviors. The fact that they enjoy watching us 24/7 tells you that they're voyeurs. These are people that enjoy watching the lives of others. Rather than focus on their own lives and create for themselves, they have to steal from other people. I've mentioned this before. So it's really interesting when you are noticing the objects being flung across the room and windows crashing out of the blue, that these are radio frequencies. I think I mentioned on several other videos that when I lived at 52 Sutton Drive in Manalapan, my cats would be asleep in my master bedroom upstairs, and I'd go upstairs, and my bathroom vanity drawer all the way to the left would be open, and stuff would be flung all over the place. And I'd go up there and, like, my cats are sound asleep, there's nobody else there. It would even be difficult for my cat to open it if they even desire to do so. I've never seen it before. I've lived there for almost 30 years. I've always had cats, right? So I decided to get baby monitors. So I stuck a baby monitor facing that drawer, and then one by my kitchen downstairs. So I'd be washing dishes and look at the baby monitor, and suddenly the baby monitor screen would go blank downstairs. I'd run upstairs, the drawer that I had closed would be open, and stuff would be on the floor again. I go over to my bed, cats snoozing, sound asleep, there's nobody else walking around. So obviously it's a sinister game they're playing with electromagnetism. Okay? So, and I ended up taping that drawer closed, and it didn't happen again. It couldn't happen again. But this is what these losers do. It's a psychological operation. It's designed to make you sound and look crazy. But it's all being done with tricks. It's a magic trick. I mean, I'm sure when you were growing up, everybody enjoyed watching magicians and trying to figure out, how did they saw that woman in half? How did that, how did he perform that card trick? How could he actually know the numbers that I was thinking in my head and produce them in his hand in a card? How is that possible? How could the clothes, how could he levitate someone? Of course, nobody could see that it was a sleight of hand. That while you're watching his right hand, he's doing something with his left hand, but you're not paying attention to that because he's drawing your attention to one thing. So they always give themselves away. It's sort of like the fact that my hen was stolen right in front of my security camera. But for 20 minutes, there was nothing captured on the camera. I could see the before and I could see the after, but nothing in between. This always tells me that it was a human involved. And they love stealing my animals, especially since it has taken me a year to grow that hen. I purchased her as a chick through a breeder, a hatchery, and she just started producing her own eggs. So not only did they steal the hen that I have fed and raised and paid for, but now they have also stolen an egg a day. Because generally, that's what they do. At this young age, they lay an egg a day. Or maybe 6 a week. So they have not only stolen my hen, but they've stolen food. And they've stolen her as a sister to another hen. They're absolutely despicable. So these neighborhood watch groups, somebody needs to be watching the neighborhood watch. The neighborhood watch are gang stalkers. They form their little groups and cliques. And they like to target people they don't like. Oh, if you're not like them, if you don't sound like them, if you don't look like them, if you don't act like them, if you didn't grow up around here, well, guess what, folks? Everybody's moving around the country. And there are more catastrophes happening. More and more people are going to be moving out of the cities to the rural communities. And if you don't like somebody from New Jersey, guess what? You'll get somebody from New York, even better. Or how about somebody from Pennsylvania? Yeah, they're moving on down here. So a lot of what you're describing, when I first moved here, my front glass window almost shattered. I was sitting on my couch, and a radio frequency hit the glass. That I literally, it was like a shattering. It didn't shatter, it didn't break, but it was definitely cause for alarm. And the fact that I have recorded all of these sounds and no one has done anything, it tells you you don't even have to ask if you're on a list. The fact that no one is helping you, that the police are involved, that you call the FBI and they hang up on you, that you know that the Freemasons are involved because they leave their little etchings and symbols behind, that they think that they're part of the Illuminati. They think that they're something special. They're special because they're part of a cult. So they use electromagnetism. They're using pulsed microwave radiation and radio frequencies. And they think it's funny. They have been studying, like, the CIA has been studying this stuff for decades. They've been staring at goats to cause a goat's heart to stop. They get a bunch of these loons together to stare at a friggin' goat and pulse their energy, their thoughts, their hatred directed at an innocent animal, a goat. Your tax dollars pay for these sadistic studies. So anyway, thank you so much, subscriber. I'm not sure if you wanted me to provide your name. It's a targeted female. She often sometimes posts as a subscriber, but generally instead of posting, she'll send me an email. But thank you so much for validating SDL's experience and many others who are fearful of sharing these kinds of experience. And also, the Tesla driving itself in reverse mode. Well, look at what happened to McDonald's wife's sister-in-law, right? Isn't this happening? These are electronic vehicles. They don't operate the same way as a regular automotive vehicle. And once you've learned to drive on a regular car, SUV, or whatever, I would imagine it's difficult to, drive a Tesla. I don't know. I don't have one. I will never own one. Have no interest. From what I understand, his stock is going to probably be going down because people just don't have the money to buy these vehicles. And they cost too much money to charge, and they take too long to charge. But that's another story for another day. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. Like, share if you feel inclined to do so. And I will be discussing another topic in my next video on revenge for hire and how it's illegal. Signing off for now.